That's a good beer. You know, a couple years ago, I was talking to our old friend, Andrew Stopey. Andrew's played concertos with us a few times. I can't remember exactly how many, but a young, energetic, spectacular pianist. And since he's played with us, he's won contests here and there. He's played at Carnegie Hall. He's played in Paris. He's getting to have a major career, but he still likes to come back here close to home when he's able to. And I said, well, what have you been playing lately, Andrew? He said, well, I just did Totentanz by Franz Liszt. I said, I don't even know that piece. It's never done. Totentanz, Death Dance. Do I want to do that? He says, take a listen. You'll love it. I took a listen. I loved it. It takes the Dies Irae melody, the melody of death from the old chants, the old Gregorian chant, and turns it into a spectacularly energetic piece that sounds kind of scary at the same time. A little combination of exuberance and Halloween. And I said, let's do that, but what else do we do with it? I realized that the piece was less than half the length of a normal concerto. I said, Andrew, we got to do something else. I said, what do you think of the first concerto of Liszt? Very young, bright, energetic piece. He said, I love it, but I've never done it, but I'd love to learn it for Rochester. So we said, all right, instead of just doing one concerto, we'll do two pieces that kind of add up to a concerto. And that's great because the young piece and then the more mature piece, the kind of youthful enthusiasm, I want to do this piece, I want to play the piano, I want to show how well I play. That's what Liszt was writing, and kind of that's the way Andrew is too. So we had these two piano pieces, but we thought, what else am I going to do? Andrew was taken care of. Now it was my problem. I thought, death. Death is not a theme that you really want to develop in a concert too much. But I thought of a piece that starts with death and then goes to another dimension. Death and Transfiguration by Richard Strauss. Now, it's interesting, Liszt created the symphonic poem or tone poem, music that tells a story. Strauss was the guy that raised it to its height. And so he tells the story. He's only 25 when he starts writing this piece. And he conceives of an old man who's on the margins of life. He's about to go to the beyond. And he remembers his early life. And then he thinks about what's about to happen. And things get violent in his soul, in his mind. And then finally, he sees what's beyond. And it becomes placid, serene, beautiful, forever. And he loves it, and it ends quietly. Death and Transfiguration. I thought, but yeah, where do you put that? It's not a great opener. It's not a great closer because it's so quiet, and Rochester audiences like to go home happy. They like to go with a bit of a spark. So I thought, it's not going to work very well. What can we start with? I thought, let's start with the concerto. The young, exuberant, energetic piece that Liszt was showing himself off. You don't start a concert with a concerto. You just don't do it. I've never heard any concert start that way. But it's the 21st century. Why not give it a go? So we're going to start with a concerto, then do the Death and Transfiguration. After intermission, we go to the Death Dance, the scary piece. But we can't leave people there. We need something that lifts them out of that scary moment into some joy. Who does that better than anybody else? Ludwig van Beethoven. So, Leonora Overture number 3, his greatest overture, and maybe a lot of people say the greatest overture ever written by anybody in history. It starts out in the depths of a prison where Florestan is being kept because he actually had the guts to speak out for freedom. His wife has taken on the name of Fidelio, her real name's Leonora. She takes on the name of Fidelio, becomes a jailer, helping the chief jailer in this prison, discovers her husband down there, saves his life when he's about to be shot, and then you hear in the overture the bugle call. The cavalry is coming to rest. The good guys are coming to free the prisoners from the oppression of the terrible Don Pizarro who's around there, and everything ends in glory. And we have the bugle call in the overture as well. It's called Leonora Overture number 3 if you want to listen to it ahead of time before you come to the concert. But our concert's on February 4th and 5th, 7:30 on Saturday night the 4th, and 2 Sunday afternoon the 5th, and you can travel from death to life if you want to hear a couple of Liszt pieces. The incredible young pianist Andrew Stopey have some Transfiguration by Richard Strauss, and the best overture ever written by Beethoven. It's going to be a great time. Cheers.